wish I found some better sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice that sang some better words. I wish I found some chords in an order that is new. I wish I didn't have to rhyme every time I sang. I was told when I get older all my fears would shrink, but now I'm insecure and I care what people think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang.
Hello everybody, I just wanted to show you my new 15-gallon 2-weld kettle, and I put my thermometer and ball valve on it. But this kettle was only $119 at homebrewing.org, a lot less than a lot of the other kettles that you can get. One reason why is it's not graduated with lines inside, and I saw a guy on Instructables that actually etched the inside of his kettle using a 9-volt battery. And so what I did was I got this 15-gallon kettle, and it's not exactly 15 gallons, but I measured the diameter and the depth of the kettle, and I could get the volume of the kettle, and it came out to be about 14.65 gallons actually, or maybe closer to 14.70. But at any rate, what I did was I took those dimensions and I was able to find out the volume, which at that point then I could actually measure how many inches is a gallon, and it came out to be like 1.19 inches per gallon. And I made a template on a piece of masking tape and used a yardstick and found out the 0.19 is actually like 3/16 converted. So I did 1 3/16 inch all the way down the line, and I was able to actually figure out by testing with the 1-gallon bottle that my marks were right on the money. And then I took that masking tape and put black electrical tape across it to mask off, starting at 5 gallons up, some area that I will take and etch this with a 9-volt battery with the wire and a Q-tip and some solution. And so I wanted to show you what it looked like on this stage. The hardest part was figuring out where to put my lines, and once I did that, I was able to follow it all the way up the line. What I did was I put the masking tape in there with the 1.19 inches, and then I put a gallon in there, and I was just a little bit low, so I moved up my masking tape just a tiny bit, and then it was true all the way up to the top. So I'll show you again after I actually etch it, but you can see the material around the areas where I'm going to be etching it, and it'll be 5 gallons all the way up to 14 gallons. And then I'm excited because then I can do no sparge BIAB, brew in a bag brewing. So cheers everybody, I'll show you what it looks like when I etch it. Everybody, so I got done masking my lines, which are measured so that each line is a gallon by some math and some masking tape and some electrical tape. I masked it off. So I'm going to show you what things you need to do this. You're going to need some Q-tips, you're going to need some wire, and I just took an old extension cord that was cut up and just took the wire off of it. You're going to take a 9-volt battery. You can't see it anymore, but on there's 2 terminals, and they're labeled positive, plus, and negative, minus. You take the positive cable and you run it off of it and run it over and tape it right to the kettle. Then you take your negative, and you need to get a Q-tip, and you just wrap it around the end of a Q-tip, like so. Then, before you do all this, you make up a solution of 1/4 cup of vinegar, white vinegar distilled, with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So the idea is that this salt in this vinegar or mild acid and the battery will cause the etching of the stainless steel material. So you're not going to get hurt touching any of this stuff. It doesn't even have any electrical to it at all. But when you touch the steel, you're completing the circuit. So you just wrap it around like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it down here and I'm going to press it onto the area that I want to have etched. And it's actually, you probably can't see this, but it's actually sizzling on that material. And that means that it's actually, you can't really hear it sizzling, but you can see it bubbling. So as I do this, each step, and I just kind of dab and kind of wipe, and eventually what you're going to see is your Q-tip is going to start changing colors. You see that? And it's going to get real black, or almost black, you know, brownish. But you go over this many times like this and dab it and stuff. And basically after it gets too dirty, you just change it out or flip it over. So then after that, actually I'm going to be able to take these stencils that I got at Hobby Lobby, which are for glass etching. And they're flexible, but I'm going to use the numbers. And the numbers are going to go right in the middle of this where I have it masked off right now. But I can go all the way from 5 gallons all the way up to 14 gallons. So I'll have a nicely etched kettle, hopefully, and paid a lot less for this kettle. It was only $119 from homebrewing.org, AIH, Adventures in Homebrewing. And of course, the most important thing you have to do while you're doing this is your homebrew, which here's a Domaine DePage clone that I did in a Domaine DePage glass, of course, and it's a French country ale, really good. I know it's on YouTube, a guy did a brew of it, but anyways, it's easy as that, and I'll let you see how it comes out after I do all of these lines, and we'll peel it off and see how it looks. Cheers! So I'm finished now, and what I'd like to show you is me peeling off the tape. I got all the way up and down there. I probably did it 2 or 3 times, went through about 10 or 15 Q-tips. The Q-tips look like this when you're like gotta change them. Probably could go further, I just did it. But let's take a look and see what it looks like. Should look pretty good. So you can see my first tape, my masking tape that I had used. And you can see this, but as I peel it off, it leaves a nice etched mark. This one's a little stubborn here. Obviously I have to clean this up with some goof off or some other chemical. There's my original masking tape I used to do the lines. You can see how I did it. And I taped the front and taped the back. You can see that in my earlier video. But here I'm going to take off the middle piece, and that's where the numbers are. So here we are. We've got the tape off, and you can see how nice and clear the lines are. And also, I've gotten some of the stencils on there, and I've gotten the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But there, you might be able to see it a little better. So I am going to do the same thing with these stencils. Once I get above 10, I can. Good. I'll be back after I do these. Okay, so here's the finished product. I actually got all the lines up. I had a couple mistakes, but all in all, I think it looks sweet. Hopefully you can see that. Those stencils work really well. Except for the bottom ones, I didn't tape off on the sides and had a little bit of etching on the end, but you can see as I got up, I got better. I even took it another level and I my new brew kettle and stenciled Cameron 2016 on it. So all in all, I think it turned out really good. It was actually fun, and hopefully you can get a cheaper kettle and have some fun too doing it. So if you have any questions, just send me a note in the comments below. Cheers, guys.